Cubbies! All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Beers by Ivy. Beers by Ivy, presented by Joey Scott Media. I'm Joey Scott, and this is my sports podcast. Of course, we're talking the Cubs today with a big win against the Astros last night. Cubs win 4-3. We're going to look solid, quite frankly. And we got adversity on the Cubs. We're going to talk about the injuries. We're going to talk about the response. How do we respond, and who are we calling up? And then we're also going to talk about what is a Chicago Cub. You know, I think all the great teams have an identity of the persona of who each team is, and I think this year, we got one. I think we had it a little bit last year too, but I think this year for sure we've had an extra year of growth and maturity on the Cubs. So we're looking forward to talking about that today. But I do want to start off by just talking about, you know, we're gonna win this homestand, which is obviously important, and 15-9, not bad for a few blown games in the ninth. Solid at bats. I think we're still figuring out our pitching. I think Counsell, the new GM, has really done a good job, and I like him a lot better than Ross. Not that I didn't like Ross. I just feel like I want a guy who plays chess, and I feel like Counsell does play chess thus far. So let's talk about the injuries. Man, holy cow. Suzuki out. Bellinger out. To maybe June, potentially. Steele out. Still out. Happ seems to be injured. Is Morel, the rumor is he's also injured. So we have Happ and Morel potentially both playing through injuries. We know Happ has a hamstring, but we don't know the severity of it. Holy cow, guys. That's, of the top 9 players, that's most of them. That's Suzuki, Bellinger, Steele. That's most of that's a lot of the talent of the whole roster. That's a lot of leadership losing on the field. That's a lot of experience we don't have on the field. And, you know, how do we respond? Well, we call up a few young guys. We changed some roles, but we got Pete Crow, Matt Mervis coming in. All right, so I'm a solutions-oriented person, so I'm going to give some solutions for the Cubs here. And this is going to be funny, but these are just some ideas. You know, I'm no doctor, but last time I checked, here's a few things that have worked for me, and they might work for the Cubs. Is one, what's going on with all the injuries? Are we not stretching before? Are we stretching too much? We need to get another expert in the clubhouse to help us out. I would look at some basic things. What I would do if I was a sports guy, call me crazy. Once again, call me crazy. But I would get cleats that ground you to the earth. If you've never heard of grounding, essentially, why does it feel so good to walk on your bare feet? It's because you're grounded to the earth. Your positive charge versus the negative charge coming from earth essentially balance your muscles out and get your clock of your organs working. Which I know is way out there, but I'm just saying, if you're going to win, innovation always wins. Smarter innovation always wins. So I would look at that. Obviously we're getting pulled everything. Something's wrong. Another thing too is, like, are we drinking water? What are we drinking? In between innings? During innings, right? What are we drinking? I would be looking at those two things. They're both super simple. You have to essentially invent cleats or buy cleats, but nonetheless, it's the advantage, right? It's like Michael Jordan. It's in the shoes. Well, what was in his shoes? Maybe nothing, but maybe something. Okay. So the nice thing about these injuries, though, is it essentially allows your young guys to step up and start competing. And that essentially is culture, right? And that's what it's going to take to end up winning the World Series, because some of these guys are going to get injured even in worse times. So can your team step up and support and teach the young guys to come in and be, badass players? That's exactly what the Cubs need. I want to now shift into what is a Chicago Cub. And this is pretty much why I'm making a video. Is I think for the first time in a long time, at least in a couple of years, we have this identity of what the Chicago Cubs are and is, and I absolutely love it. I want to talk about two people, and I feel like it's the combined perception of both these guys. Dansby Swanson, consistent and there when you need it. That home run yesterday, wind's blowing in. The team's a little bit light on bats. Boom, 3-shot home run. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Consistent, everyday defensive play. Boom, identity, Chicago Cubs this year. And last, Bellinger. And this is what I love. Fearlessness at the plate. I love that. Standing at the plate, knowing, daring, pitch the ball. That's what we need. And I feel like a lot of our at-bats have that. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And then also, all-out defense. There's a thing in hockey called the Gordie Howe hat trick. Gordie Howe is one of the most famous hockey players ever. And he essentially is when you score a goal, you get an assist and you win a fight. And they call that the Gordie Howe hat trick. What Bellinger did the game he got hurt is what we need. It's what the Cubs should be. Hits a home run and then goes after a catch and hits the wall. I mean, those are two going all out plays. Fearlessness at the plate, fearlessness on the field. Absolutely love it. Okay, last thing is, I still think the Cubs are essentially choosing their closer, but I love how Consol's like trying different guys out, still keeping Azalai close to the end of the game. And I think like nervous, he still gave up a homer, which is obviously nerve-wracking, but we end up winning. And so I think, try him out a few more times. But at the end of the day, I like the Cubs movement. I want to jump on here just to say, go Cubs, fly the W. Hopefully we win today, sweep the series. Once again, they all look cold out there. So, time to shine. Go Cubs. Like and subscribe. Just getting going here. So just having fun, learning the YouTube world, learning the other social media world. But yeah, thanks again. We'll talk soon.